Hello and welcome to the Amazon Strategist Show, the show that's all strategy with no hacks, no silver bullets, and real practical strategies to grow your Amazon business. So today I have with me John Elder of Black Label Advisor. So John runs Black Label Advisor, an Amazon consulting firm helping brands scale and exit. Black Label Advisor works with entrepreneurs and brands to help them find their niche and run their private label business on Amazon. So John provides up-to-date, customized strategies for clients and a wide range of guidance on all industries to find their niche on Amazon. He's a one-to-one coach. He consults with big brands, and he was also a top 3,000 Amazon seller and a mid-seven-figure exit. So welcome, John.
John, it's great to be here. Very excited about it.
And I see, I didn't comment this before, that you've just started your day with a bang.
Yes, here, I'll show that for the audience. Today it's a cherry lemonade, cherry blade lemonade. It's pretty good.
I need to try it. Like Ben on our team, I have to introduce you to Ben. He leads the business development team. He is always up 7 o'clock in the morning with a bang. So we're always on calls at this kind of day. And it's what, 6 a.m. where you are right now?
It is. It's a little bit early, but you know, in construction time, this is nothing. This is like an average day.
So yeah, I was doing some deep research into you before, or should I say, our team was internet stalking you, and we came up with you. You were in construction till what, 2017?
Yeah. So my background actually is, a little different than most people. I went to University of Washington, got a degree in construction management. Spent my entire time there just focused on that. Right out of school, I moved from Seattle to San Diego and actually started managing the construction and expansion project of the San Diego airport. And so, right out of school, I'm working on high profile projects, that, will be around, to show my kids someday. Awesome projects. But the thing that I realized really fast was, okay, in terms of, salary progression, it was going to be a kind of like a slow process. So I wanted to get to a certain number a lot faster. And so I realized, okay, I'm going to have to do something on the side. And so that's where Amazon started. It started as a side gig that really just exploded overnight. And so from day one of starting on Amazon, I started with one brand, started with one simple private label product in the golfing niche. And that, I just replicated the success and the same strategies over and over and over again. And of course had mistakes along the way, but just kept it building, sustainably. And, that grew into a business where I actually went full time in 2017 and then exited in 2019. So it was definitely hyper growth, using a lot of outside capital as much as I could, everything from Amazon lending to Chase credit lines. But it was a pretty amazing adventure, just because, building your own brand. So I had a total of 5 brands, and even to the point of seeing them in random neighbors' yards here in Texas, seeing them in T-Mobile commercials. Those are the types of things that made it really special. Where you just saw it randomly. You saw a TV production crew purchase it, and then you put it into an ad for T-Mobile. And I use T-Mobile, so I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. It's just random things like that make creating a product from scratch really special.
I agree. That's super, super cool. You talk about outside capital. So what was your mentality on that at the time? Because I know it can be a little bit interesting and scary. And what was your actual cash position when you were, if you don't mind me asking, when you sold the businesses? Were you actually cash on cash profitable, or were you deep in the hole of the capital hole?
No, so I was profitable, but I wanted to grow and launch more. Okay. And so there was a time where, I think my first loan was roughly $15,000 from Amazon. That grew actually the peak loan. I always talk about this on Twitter. Some people don't believe me, but it's really funny because it's a very real story that happens with a lot of people. But if you prove yourself at Amazon, Amazon loves to loan you money. That's just reality. So my top loan was actually $1 million from Amazon.
Wow.
So, I'm paying out, $500,000 to factories. We're talking about, these are huge, huge orders of multiple sea containers at this point. So this is obviously an aggressive launch strategy. There was a time, in the beginning where I was, cash flow in a bad position. There was a time, I talk about this online on social media a lot, where, I launched just one too many products. And so there was a successful product where I launched 7 variations, and I said, you know what? I'm getting really confident with this product. Everything's going to be great. I'm just going to throw up 7 colors and a couple unique designs, and it's guaranteed to work. So I did that, and I got into a cash flow negative position, and I got screwed. And so realized that I was way too confident with that, and I learned a lesson: don't get cocky. And I had to really pull back. I didn't pay myself salary for 2 months. I had to make sure I paid my employees. I had 2 employees at the time. So it was a hard lesson, but one where, you definitely will look back on, and it was so painful that you don't want to replicate ever again. So going forward past that point, it was, okay, how do I launch sustainably? How do I use Amazon lending as efficiently as possible? And so it was a good lesson.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It's always interesting when you borrow money for the first time, or you go into negative cash flow a bit, or when that debt ceiling gets higher and you're like, this is like 10 years of what I used to make to pay this thing back.
Yeah, it's there's, for anyone listening, there's definitely some stress associated with that. So, there's a little bit of inherent worry, with that. At the same time, it adds a little bit of an insurance policy. So a lot of people, talk about this, but I definitely believe it gives you a little bit of cover, from an Amazon seller protection standpoint. So if Amazon has given you $1 million, they're going to be hesitant to suspend you.
That's a very good point. I didn't think about it that way.
They want you to be successful. So, I see that with the vast majority of my clients is, that does, maybe you get better seller support. Maybe things get bumped up to the escalation team a little faster. I can't prove that. But I think there are some indirect benefits with Amazon lending, and that's just one component. You have things like seller funding and AccrueMe, and outside credit lines with top tier banks. So there's funding all over the place, and actually money's still relatively cheap right now. And I think a couple years from now, once we're probably in a recession, we're going to be it's going to be a little more painful. So the interest rates are going to be higher. I think that's where we're headed. So, right now, if you have a really good offer from Amazon, definitely take it. And the other thing too is, there's an algorithm impact too. So if you take an Amazon loan and then pay it back 30 days later, that logs that as a loan that you took. And so each time you take a loan, it does something in the algorithm that it increases your amount of capital that's given to you, and it's going to give you more offers over time. So definitely take it. Maybe use it for staffing. Maybe use it for, maybe you need some capital for, you just have a ton of sampling you need to do. Maybe you have 12 PickFu campaigns that you need to do. Capital can be used up real fast. And so having some efficient capital from Amazon is a really great tool.
Yeah, that's a super cool tip, and we're definitely going to take that one and extract it. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So capital's a really big one. What are the other things that you really focus on when you're consulting with your clients about, the levers in their business that they can be pushing, or what are the top sort of 3 to 5 things that you start looking at when you consult with a client?
Oh man, definitely your brand story. So, any outside direct to consumer brand is going to tell you the same thing. What is the number one thing that you can do that's not only free but effective at getting someone interested in your brand? And so that's your brand story. So think about what's that brand mission statement, and this is an internal mission statement that a lot of top tier companies have. And so everything you do has to be filtered through that. So, for example, I had a toy brand for kids that the mission statement was reinvigorating the curiosity for the great outdoors. And the whole point was to get kids off technology and to focus on enjoying the outdoors with their family. So every product launch, branding, video production, photography, I'm using real models. Not taking corners, like using Photoshop pictures and putting the product in the hand of obviously a fake person, using real stuff. And, on Amazon, how that looks, that's including a 60-second video in your 7th picture slot. That includes a from the brand section in your A+ content. And so what you're doing is you're trying to wrap in story to separate yourself out from the competition. So with clients, I'm always telling them, you need to be in the top 10% in terms of price. You are not competing with, the majority. You are going to be a premium high grade product, and you are going to do it through video production, photography, and brand story. And, a lot of people are like, oh, you can't build a brand on Amazon. That's completely not true. You're going to see more and more people come to Amazon over the next couple of years and bring their brand story to Amazon and build it out. So Amazon is the number one place where people go for Christmas shopping. It's the number one place people go for, holiday events. It's not Google. So people start their shopping journey on Amazon. If you can get them hooked into your brand story a little bit, I talked to my wife about this as well. She's heavy on Instagram, and I always ask her, what made you buy that product? So recently it was just some cozy clothes, actually from the UK. So it was a brand from the UK, and it says wifey on the top of the sweatshirt, and it's a really, really nice, luxurious looking cozy set of clothes. And it's like, okay, wow, like what grabbed your attention? And it was all about the brand story. So the brand story was, kind of obvious, showcasing, as a wife, being home, feeling luxurious, because really, wives deserve that. They do so much work. She's my spouse. She does so much for our family. And their branding really came through. So their video production was really sharp on Instagram and really got her hooked. And so what you need to do is bring that entire strategy over to Amazon, and Amazon gives you so many chances to do that. Pictures, photography, video production, your A+ content, your store. You need to have a branded store. A lot of people just skip that part, and it's like, what if they click your brand? That's free to set up. You should have that set up. So, that's definitely the number one thing I work on with clients. And obviously past that, it's proper optimization, SEO on Amazon. That gets into the weeds. That's a much more boring subject, but, being optimized behind the scenes, customers, the stuff that customers don't see, and then being optimized from a brand story perspective. Those are, those two things complete a whole package.
Yeah, I love that. And that's a proper strategic tip, which is what we want to do at the Amazon Strategist Show, which is actually spend the time investing in your story. And just like our companies, we have a filter of values and what our mission is. Having the mission for your brand, and does everything filter through that? That's amazing. I love that.
Absolutely.
So to switch tack slightly, I'm really interested in your journey. So you made your money, you sold your business. Why go into consulting? You got your fat check. Why consulting?
Yeah, it's crazy. When you sell a business, whether you're selling to an aggregator or a private buyer, there's going to be a transition. And so for me, I sold to a private buyer, and this private buyer happens to be in Virginia. I live in Texas, and I actually flew to the buyer to spend multiple days to train them up from ground zero. So unfortunately, the buyer had zero Amazon experience. This was just a serial entrepreneur that had interest in a cash flowing machine, and that it was. And he was confident that he was going to get trained up, and so I had to train him from scratch. I had to walk him through brand story. I had to walk him through optimization, how to set up your FBA shipments, how to deal with tariffs, how to deal with freight forwarding. So really had to take him from 0 to 100% in a couple of days. And obviously there was a lot of spillover. So that, involved Skype sessions and phone calls and emails of we'll just call that extended training. So there was extended training for about 12 months. That 12 months post exit, I took time off with family to travel and to literally do zero business. So that was a wonderful time with my son and my wife. And then that kind of spurred on the idea of consulting. So consulting is kind of like one of those things that a lot of people who exit don't like to do, because a lot of people who have top tier brands, it's very, you're kind of in a silo. And so you don't have a lot of like person to person interaction. And so it sparked the idea of, consulting Amazon sellers from an ethical, transparent viewpoint. So there's a ton of bad information out there. And so part of my mission to Black Label Advisor is to provide accurate, up-to-date, transparent, terms of service compliant advice for Amazon sellers. So that's obviously, that's been a driving force for, and it, now I'm, the top, Twitter account for the private label space. I make it a mission to never give someone counsel that would get them suspended by Amazon. And, now, I'm taking all of my experience from clients and sharing that, obviously anonymously, but I'm sharing that on social media. So all those stories get shared now, and there's a lot of free education that happens there. And it's been just a different journey, walking with clients. Some I'm going from 0 to 7 figures with them. Some are already seven figures and they're going to 8 figures. And then other people are venture backed. So, we're talking about companies you haven't heard of yet that have a ton of investment. And, one recent one, they are going into Amazon as step 1, but step 2 is Target and beyond. So they're trying to get into brick and mortar, Nordstrom, Walmart, lots of like really high end men's salons. And, step 1 is proving, the concept via Amazon, and they're smart. They know the best place to prove that and to show the executives at Target is Amazon. So Amazon control over 50% of all digital commerce in America. That's your number 1 spot. So immediately PPC is bringing millions of eyeballs to your listing, and you can't do that with any other platform. And so that's
awesome.
Yeah. So that's been kind of the journey. The name also, I'll just touch on that a little bit. Black Label, that's tied into high-end whiskey brands. That kind of gives you that exclusive feel. So I'm really picky who I work with. As long as you are going to take action and want someone who, has experience in helping you along the way, that's going to be a good fit. And then the label is obviously for private label. So it's a little bit of a play on words.
No, I like it. That's really cool. So with Twitter, you've got the highest, biggest number of followers, the biggest influence. I mean, I know you're super big on Twitter. So how did you do that really? How did you go from John to John of Black Label Advisor?
Honestly, I started the Twitter account as John Dash Black Label Advisor. And, you know, I found that the thing that people are the most attracted to is just authentic story. And so um, I wrap in as many real stories as I can. And then I also tackle breaking news in terms of Amazon. So it could be a union vote, it could be drone delivery, all sorts of different topics. And I roughly weekly, I like to do a really detailed thread. So this week, for example, I did, and this is all free, by the way. There's no, I don't have like super follows or anything on Twitter, but this is all free content. So I did a thread, 5 questions that you need to ask a potential buyer or aggregator. Okay. So we walk through, you know, what you need to be asking in the interview process. It's not just you being interviewed with your business. You need to be asking them questions. What are your plans? What are your long-term plans for my brand? What are you going to do with my product idea pipeline? You know, so this is your baby. This is your brand that you built up from scratch. It deserves a strong partner. So you need to have a strong handoff. And so to do that, you need to ask some tough questions. So that's just one example of you know, the weekly threads. But yeah, Twitter's really grown, and I think you know, I'm probably going to hit the 10,000 mark a lot sooner than Christmas. I think Christmas was my forecast. And then, yeah, past that, it's just perpetual growth. So on to, you know, 15 and 20,000, but it's really turned into an authority in the space. So there's definitely a lot of responsibility attached to that.
I love it. That's super cool. And so how much time do you spend on Twitter? Because, you know, I'm super interested in Twitter. Like, we don't really do anything on Twitter yet. I mean, I know you're awesome at it because you sent one tweet and we got like 5 leads from that one tweet.
Yeah, I would say it's about an hour a day. And so I tweet probably 5 to 10 times per day. Yeah, it's just part of my brand now. And so I spend very little time on Facebook outside of my group. I do run a group with 14,000 members. So that's probably where I spend the rest of my time. I spend like almost no time on Instagram. I'm just not that person to do video production and to do all the fancy graphics. I don't have a passion for that. And then I don't really spend that much time on LinkedIn. So I like to go where the people are, and Twitter is where, you know, my clients are. That's where the brand owners, they're talking authentically about, you know, how do we solve this? There's a lot of like solving it from a community standpoint. You know, for example, Amazon just launched Amazon seller support or seller help on, you know, on Twitter. And so now the people will tag me, retweet things, and be like, "Oh, like I need help," you know, and then I'll come in and say, "Hey, actually, have you thought about doing this?" And so there's a lot of DM conversations that happen organically through that, and there's a lot of just people helping each other for free. So that there's a component there that is extremely valuable for sellers.
I love it. And yeah, please do follow John. We will have his link below on this thing and on this episode. And what is your tag, your handle for Twitter?
So it's Black Label ADVSR.
Cool. Black Label Advisor.
Yeah, it's shortened a little bit.
I like it. What else should we know about you, John?
Oh, man. Well, here in Texas, we have drones launching, so that's kind of exciting.
You're going to get one?
It cracks me up. We talked about it a little bit in the intro, but, you know, there's always a battle of the direct-to-consumer brands slamming the Amazon world. And it's so funny to me because I'm a huge believer in you can do both, and you should be doing both. Then there's the Amazon guys who they laugh at me because I'm telling you, you need to start capturing emails, and you need to be starting your off Amazon presence because you shouldn't be relying on Amazon for everything. So, you know, I get a little bit of heat for that. You need to be doing both. For example, you need to be on Walmart. You need to be on Shopify. You need to be on social media. You need to have, most of the time, you need to have your social media ads outsourced. It takes way too much time. That's something really for someone who's really smart with Instagram and TikTok. So let other people do that for you. Recycle content, create some new, unique hooks. But yeah, that's always that's always the discussion. And so, with drone delivery, we are Amazon is going to be launching their test market here in Texas in College Station. So that's a huge university hub. University of Texas is right there. They are going to be launching drones and doing, ridiculously fast 1 hour delivery. So, once you have delivery times that are, same day, brands are not going to be able to compete with that. So no one's going to have access to that unless you're on the Amazon platform. So I will say this because it is important to say, because one, it's the truth, but two, there's no shame on, being on Amazon. You need to be on Amazon. If you don't take your brand that's off Amazon and bring it to Amazon, every day you wait, you are losing time. And so you need to be on Amazon, establish yourself as a leader, and to start building up your reviews. I don't understand why brands, I don't know if it's pride or someone has told them that it's a bad idea. You are literally going to be ignoring the platform soon. My forecast is by 2025, Amazon will control 60% of all digital commerce in the United States. So do you think that's a good business strategy for yourself? I don't think so. So, Prime Day, Amazon Prime memberships, that's part of the American psyche. We're going to be hitting 200 million pretty soon. That's nearly half of the US population. And so I always, talk about this, but Amazon is just getting started. So you need to get in now. And instead of running away from Amazon, you need to learn the system and go in deep and establish yourself as a leader. So there's really no excuse anymore. It doesn't make any sense to ignore the platform at all. And it needs to happen.
Yeah, totally agree. And especially about the 1 hour delivery stuff, it's going to be interesting what the range of products is that they managed to roll out.
Yeah.
Because they had 2 hour delivery in London 6 years ago when I was there.
Yeah.
And I needed to print something out. And I was like, oh, well, the closest print shop is like an hour's journey away. I'll just order a printer. So it was like $40. I got a printer, arrived 2 hours later with some paper and some Coke Zero, whatever else I just added to my basket at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool. This is a good proof of concept. I want to print something out. I'll start adding a load of stuff to the basket. And yeah, same here. But I mean, I'm currently in Vietnam, and my wife only orders from Shopee because she was like, she got a new iPhone yesterday and she needed a case because she forgot to order a case. So okay, I'll just get a case. Like literally 40 minutes later, a case showed up for $5. So I'm like, yeah, that is phenomenal. Like quick delivery is the future. And I don't mind waiting to get stuff from China for like 30% of the price because, I think it's a good decision. I'm spending $100. I'd rather spend 35. But my wife will just order it because it arrives 10 minutes later or 40 minutes later.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And especially like, with our family, we have 2 kids now and everything is about speed. So, if you are, just, especially with things like phone cases, well, shoot, we just upgraded to the iPhone 13 for my wife. I want that case really fast. And, I want the screen protector and I want to get that done like really, really quick because 7 a.m. rolls around and guess what? It is mommy and daddy time all day long until they go to sleep. So there's a lot of demand there. That's just reality. And so the faster the shipping times are, it's going to become more and more attractive. That's literally what put Prime on the map was 2-day delivery. And it's funny, people are just starting to, match the 2-day delivery. Most people can't because the outside logistical map is just not comparable. You know, if you do FedEx and UPS, you know, the pricing is just crazy. So, you know, you need to have some inventory at Amazon. You need to have some presence at Amazon, even if it's, you know, maybe you don't spend a lot on PPC, but you know, you are, you know, it's the top tier platform in America, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger. So, you know, that speed is going to increase. That the drone delivery, I'm actually not a big fan of drone delivery from like I'll just call it like a sound pollution perspective. You know, I'm not sure I want I know how loud they are. I don't want 100 of them flying over my house all the time personally. You know, but I think the average person is going to want things to get there faster. Like right now, you know, I know it's not even August, but here, you know, school starts August 10th, and, you know, there's people shopping for school supplies already. So, you know, if you forget like, oh, shoot, I forgot to buy school supplies. Well, if a drone can deliver that in a couple hours, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty mind-boggling, especially considering people thought it was a joke.
Well, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a marketing ploy, not scam. But no, it's super cool. I'm really looking forward to your videos, because I'm sure you are the closest one. If there's going to be anyone who uploads a cool video, it's going to be you.
Oh, for sure. Oh my gosh, if I capture one, it's definitely going on Twitter.
Awesome, cool. So I just wanted to, I mean, thank you so far for coming on, and now we're going to get into the game show part of the show.
Awesome.
If you're up for that.
Awesome, perfect.
So at the Amazon Strategist Show, what we do is we want to give back to our audience. So every episode, we run a game show style wheel with some cool prizes. And John has very kindly put up some prizes for the wheel. So as you know, if you're a regular for the show, we spin the wheel, and you may win John's prize, you may win a previous guest prize, or you may win some cash. So we give away cash as well. So if you want to enter with the link below this episode, then you're eligible for this prize and all future prizes. So please go register below here, and we will get you registered and reach out to you if you win. So what John put forward is a 1-hour call with him. Pretty much priceless, although I'm sure you have a price for it on your site as well, John. 10 or also 20% off for the first 10 signups of his consulting fee. So that's super cool. And do reach out to him, because you can actually reach out to him about that one directly as well. We also have $400 free reimbursements from one of our sponsors, Seller Candy. Also, I'm at Seller Candy. And loads of different cash options, depending. So our producer, Viv, if you want to throw up the wheel, we will get going. I imagine there's some really cool background music going on right now. We had it for a second.
It was there. It was there.
This in post, this will look amazing. And we have the wheel. Cool. And the wheel is now back. All right. Okay. So, John, you have to say, spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel.
And cool. So we have 20% off any of John's services.
Awesome.
So you actually you came out. You're the first person ever on the Amazon Strategy Show to have their own prize come up. So congratulations, John. That's
sweet.
Cool. And we're going to keep your 1-hour free consulting on that wheel. So if you'd like a 1-hour free consulting with John, please do enter the competition. And then in any of the future episodes, somebody will win that. So John, we will be reaching out to you in the future when somebody has won that and introducing them to you.
Awesome.
All right. So we are in the final session of the Amazon Strategist Show, where we have our rapid fire questions. So the rules for this: you have to provide a 1-word answer, and you get 2 seconds to think. Well, pretty much you have to answer immediately. Whatever you say, doesn't matter. Please don't swear. You can cut it out if you want. Okay.
Oh man, I hate these games.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Number 1, your favorite Amazon niche.
Office.
If you could choose no pictures or no reviews, which would it be?
Ooh, no reviews.
Name a country that starts with the letter J.
Oh, Japan.
Which Amazon marketplace is the next big opportunity?
Germany.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Should be illegal.
Name something appealing about working from home.
More time with family.
Facebook or Google ads?
Oh, 100% Facebook ads.
And name something you'd hate to find swimming around in your bathtub.
Oh, a snake.
You have completed the rapid fire round. Thank you so much, John. That's awesome.
Awesome. I survived.
You
I'm
survived.
like breaking out in cold sweats over here.
Thank you. That's awesome. So, thank you so much for being on the show. So, if people want to contact you, follow you, get more information about your agency, or they want to work with you, what's the best way to contact you and reach out?
The easiest way, so I have a contact form on my website. So if you go to blacklabeladvisor.com, that you'll find it there. Another place is just emailing me, John Elder at blacklabeladvisor.com. So it's JONELDER at blacklabel.advisor.com. And then Twitter, I think we mentioned, you'll have my handle on there, but it's blacklabel so yeah, I'm all over Facebook. You can find me on LinkedIn. I repost everything I do to LinkedIn. So definitely connect with me there as well.
Ooh, thank you, John. And do check out John's Twitter. It's really cool. And I follow John on Twitter. Not even I follow John on Twitter, and I don't use Twitter, which is what I meant to say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, looking forward to connecting with any of the listeners.
So thank you to everyone watching. Thank you to Vivian, our producer, who's put a lot of effort into the new format. So anyone that's watching the new format, I hope you like it. As always, if you're interested in support with your Amazon business, please contact Seller Candy, our business, and or Black Label Advisor, because they do the stuff that we don't do. He does the strategy, which is why we have him on the Amazon Strategy Show. So thanks to all of our audience, and we'll see you all next week.
Yeah, thanks again, John.
Thanks, John.